11 o'clock to start the competition. My name is Joe Black, and I'll just turn it around here so you can have a quick look at me. My name's Joe Black, and I'll be your guide today, your host. And we're live from our IXL Building Products facility. You probably don't want to see my face too much, but so I'll try to spare you a little bit. We're gonna later on alongside me, we're gonna have my companion Liz Such, and she'll be helping out with various topics as well. And we just hope that this event will be exciting and informative for everyone out there. We've got 5 very talented teams that are representing Alberta, Canada. And before we get into team introductions, what I can do is give you a little bit of history on the BRICKLAYER 500. We are just going to give you a little history here of the BRICKLAYER 500. It's mostly or commonly referred to as the Road to Las Vegas. It's the industry's most notorious event that tests the skills, speed, and stamina of the bricklayer. They build these 26-foot long walls in just 1 hour. The stakes are high, and only one mason per regional competition will advance to Las Vegas at the World of Concrete trade show on January 20th, 2021. And it's a chance to win the title of the world's best bricklayer. We've had some past winners representing Alberta at the Las Vegas World of Concrete event. Ken Rutley from Masonry came in second place, I believe, in 2010 at the BRICKLAYER 500 Championship. This event, something new and exciting this year though, we've added an all-new wild card challenge to the regional series, which will send 4 additional competitors to the World Championship. So that way, there's a few wildcard competitors that get to go down to Vegas and have a chance to win the event and be crowned bricklayer champion. Now, SPEC BRICKLAYER 500 was established by SPEC in 2003 to showcase the skill and craftsmanship of professional masons. And we've had, obviously this is the first time we've ever live streamed, but the World Championship finale draws as many as 6,000 spectators, and they do a live webcast across the world. So the event is very popular, and it most certainly is something that these guys all train and work very, very hard for. Now, the teams have a starter course of concrete block. We'll just readjust that here, sorry. The concrete block already laid out, and the brick on top. We want to thank Cindercrete Block for their generous donation of the 20-centimeter block. The brick that all the teams are using was graciously donated by Hebron Brick. Hebron Brick is located out of Fargo, North Dakota, and this particular brick that they're actually using is called the Seagray 6 Smooth Modular. And they will be, of course, laying these bricks on the wall in a running bond. So I'm going to introduce the teams now. We have 5 very talented teams, like I had said. And I'm just gonna change my notes here. But we are going to let you know who is competing today at the regional Alberta Regional Finals. So we've got, starting with number 1 stall, we've got Mason Rick Mcdougall, and later on I'll go by and we'll hopefully get a good shot of these guys while they're laying brick. But for the meantime, I'll just run through the teams. So on the first stall, as I had said, we have Rick Mcdougall, who is the mason, and his tender is Ethan Mcdougall. On the second stall, right about there, we have Dave Suntag as the mason and Sonny Harvey as his tender. The third stall, we have Nicola Bradvica as the mason and Marco Bradvica as his tender. Stall 4, we have Rick Vare as the mason and Dan Roth his tender. And they are actually out of Medicine Hat. I should have noted earlier, stall 1 with Rick Mcdougall, who again is our longest running contestant. They are representing out of Edmonton. The second, Dave Suntag and Sonny Harvey, they're Gunther's Masonry out of Calgary. And the third, Nicola Bradvica and Marco Bradvica, Eero Masonry out of Calgary. And last, on number 5, which is right ahead of us here, we have Doug Veldman as the mason and Daniel Veldman from Veldman Masonry, and they are representing out of Lethbridge. Now, last year's champion at the Alberta Regionals was the Feldman Brothers. They had a brick count of 627. So typically a bricklayer in a day averages about 600 laid brick. So that's pretty outstanding if you consider that they do this in an hour. So basically out of the 5 teams, 2 represented out of Calgary, 1 Medicine Hat, 1 Lethbridge, and 1 Edmonton. So Alberta is very well represented. And as I mentioned before, Medicine Hat, which I will dive down into the history a little bit later about the IXL brick plant in Medicine Hat, but it's got a long history in our Alberta market for masonry and brick manufacturing. And as I had mentioned before, Ken Rutley from Mays Masonry had made it to the second place at the 2010 Bricklayer 500 Championship. So Medicine Hat very much ingrained into our Alberta masonry history. Now the event is officially about to get underway here, and I'm going to take you down and we're going to get closer to the action. These guys are just about to set up. They're getting all their brick laid and ready to go. Their tender is a very important process to helping the mason. Now, we aren't getting as warm as the weather as we were hoping today, but with the SPEC mix type N mortar, with the mixers, it'll accelerate setting and hardening of the mortar faster. So the mixers are going to have to add a little bit more water if it was hot, but I think today we are okay. Now they're just announcing so what will end up happening here The mason will end up building up the corners of their wall and allow the brick line to act as a reference line. As you can see here, you can see the brick line running across. This will keep the wall flush, level, and plumb. And we'll get into a little bit more of the process once they get started here, but they're talking over a bit on me. Now, I do want to say a couple things about all the sponsors that have helped us here today. As mentioned before, all the brick is supplied by Hebron Brick. The starter course block was donated by Syndicrete. Our platinum sponsor is IXL Building Products. And we've got various bronze sponsorships. And that is Brock White, the Alberta Masonry Council, MCA, which is Masonry Contractors Association, North and South, and Lafarge are all our bronze sponsors. So thank you very much. We really appreciate this. This event doesn't go on without these sponsors here. Now the guys are probably getting ready, getting a little nervous. Once the bell goes, these guys are going to get full bore. I think the world, from what I was checking out here, and someone might have to confirm this. Oh, they're off. They are off. Okay. I think from what I had heard, the record is 911 brick back in 2010. Typically, these guys are laying about 600 to 700, some even 800 brick within the hour of this competition. Also remember though, it's not so much about how many brick laid, but there is also a craftsmanship award. So you want to make sure that your wall is level and plumb and without and various other judging techniques that we will be going through. But these are all going to count towards the end results. Now you can see how important their help is here. Now some of the things that these guys go through in preparation to maximize their efficiency. As you can tell here, set up your brick stacks and mortar boards in an efficient place. Position yourself for bricklaying, standing parallel to the wall. It's very important. Furrow your mortar bed correctly. Furrowing is running your trowel through the bed, creating a cavity in the middle. You can kind of see it right here. Picking up bricks and loading your trowel. Make an effort to pick up the bricks the way that it is laid in the wall. This saves you spinning, which costs a lot of time in the brick world. And also very important is buttering with a full joint. Many bricklayers use a speed joint, or in other words, they just butter one edge of the brick and place it in the wall. However, buttering like this is more likely to leave holes when it's pointed and also weakens the moisture barrier. Typically they do butter both ends, but in this event where speed is very important, they most likely will just butter the one end of the brick when laying, and also keeping in mind good craftsmanship. I just want to talk a little bit about the mason tenders too. I mean, the masons get a lot of credit, but the mason tender has a very important job to assist the mason by maintaining tools, transporting, and laying out the brick and stone, and keeping the job safe, clean, and safe. Mainly it becomes a stepping stone to gain experience to become a career stone mason. So for all you young people, masonry is a very skilled artistic trade with great earning potential. And side note, you will never have to hit a gym in your life. It's an amazing workout, as you can tell by most of these guys. Trying. So as we can see right now, they're building up the corners as mentioned before. Yeah. Okay, so as you can see, at the start of the competition, the guys are going to build their leads. And they're going to probably take them about 3, 4, 5 courses high. And from there, they're just going to fill the middle. So that's where the speed's going to come in. So build the lead on one end, build the lead on the other. You see these guys doing it over here. And then fill. And then as they fill that, then they'll continue building more leads and fill again. So you'll see that some of the top teams will probably build higher leads, knowing that they're going to be able to lay that many bricks. So you're going to want to watch that from stall to stall. I'm going to stop you right here, Carlos. Yeah. If you can just hold this, because I just am afraid that they may not be able to hear you. Oh, okay. And all you have to do is just... this just controls where you want to look. Oh, okay. You can give a little tour and some of your knowledge.
This is live.
This is live. Yep.
So am I going to say it again?
Yeah, I would start again. Just
okay.
Start over. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, guys, we're going to take a little walk around here from the outside. As you can see, the laborers have set up the station already. But now, like we were talking about the leads before, you can see this team right here is slowly starting with their leads on the left side, then on the right side, and filling in. If you notice, the teams that might be a little newer to this, they're just going with the one end, getting that going, and then slowly making their way to the other end. This team right here, stall number 3, I believe. This gentleman here has won it before, so he knows exactly how many he can lay. He's going all the way up. He's going to run over to this end, fill that end all the way up, and then just fill. So look for that wall. It's going to be a big one. This one here as well. They're kind of doing the same thing, building a high lead, and then working on this side. It's good. It's good. We're getting her going. We'll give you some more little tidbits along the way, but yeah, it's going to be a good competition.
All right, thanks very much, Carlos. That was great information. Sorry, I'm just gonna get away from the noise here so we can get a better look at some of these guys in action. We're very fortunate at IXL to have held this bricklayer event here in Alberta for 2 years in a row now. There's our banner there. Last year's champion, last year we had 7 teams of masons and tenders lined at this arena at IXL. Mason Douglas Feldman and Mason tender Daniel Feldman of Feldman Masonry in Lethbridge did take home the top honors with a brick count of 627. And they ended up winning the free trip to Las Vegas for the World Championship and the title of Alberta's best bricklayer. So the competitors will end up laying brick until noon, 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. And then from there, they take a 5-minute rest. Then they have 20 minutes to strike their joints. So basically making the wall look nice and clean, and all the joints, all the mortar joints looking clean. And that's part of the craftsmanship. Judging then will take place, and that will last approximately about 30 minutes. At that time, we will take a break, and then we will be going back on our live stream once the judging is all tallied up. So please come back to us when we do take that break, but that's not for some time now. Guys are starting to hustle a little bit. Let's see if we can go talk to we'll get a better look here at what they're doing. See how smooth this trowel is, taking off that excess mortar. Very important. And he actually adds it to the end, the header end of the brick, all in one nice fluid motion. We got a lot of fans here today. Check it out. There you go. Family members. Mr. Feldman, Bob Dreger from Brock White. Thanks for being a sponsor. Maybe Bob, you can just talk a little bit about what this event means to you and to Brock White and our industry.
You know what? Going forward, we need all the tradesmen that we can get. This is a great way for them to showcase their skills. Gives them a chance to compete something, do something a little different.
Yep.
Great way to show the younger folks all the stuff that can be done. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Well, we appreciate your sponsorship in the event like this, because like we said, without guys like you sponsoring us, this event just doesn't happen. So we appreciate it. So thank you very much for your time.
No problem.
There's the SPEC mix silo, which it pumps out all that mortar. I think they're today they're using the Type S mortar. We are lucky to distribute SPEC mix for a very long time in our Alberta marketplace, and it is the premium mortar product in all of Alberta. We're just very lucky to be a big part of this event alongside SPEC mix. Just proves our partnership is in good standing. Let's take you back over around the other side here. We've got some of the judges getting ready. As you can see what they do with the trowel on the mortar bed, they create a groove on top, and then they end up laying the brick. This is Rick Mcdougall. He's one of the longest standing members and competitors at this event. Very smooth with the trowel. I'm going to take you over to some of the other competitors over here and see how they're doing.
Hey Joe, why don't we come in here real quick while these guys are on the other side.
Okay.
One of the criteria that we're going to be judging on is lift bricks and tipped bricks. So if the brick is kind of sticking out a little bit, that one's going to count as a deduction. As well, if the brick isn't level, and now we measure that one, we take this little level here and we check it and make sure that it's within tolerance. And if it isn't, then that's a deduction as well.
Right.
So throughout the competition, these guys are going to make sure that they're doing everything as high quality as they possibly can, because there are deductions. So it's not just how many brick you can lay, it's how many you can lay properly, because at the end, those deductions are going to take your brick count down. So
right.
We'll be judging on that. A little later on, we'll talk about some other things that we're going to be judging on, but that's two right there. One is a lift brick. Again, this is just kind of hanging out a little bit.
Yep.
Or a tip brick if it's not level. All right?
Perfect. Thank you, Carlos. I'm hoping everyone can hear that over here. It gets a little noisy with the mixers going. I'm going to take you over to last year's winners, the Feldman Brothers. You see how he's just placing the mortar on the top. A nice mortar bed right on top. And these guys were last year's champions. So that mortar that he places on top, basically called a mud base. When they lay the brick on there, he's going to end up doing the one header end, and he trowels off the excess mortar as he's doing it. It's such a fluent, great job that they do. And sometimes, you know, a lot of people perceive that we Masons, the faster you are, the better you are, but that's not always true. It's important to just have a nice fluent flow to what you're doing, and in the long run that just ends up you being able to lay more brick. Now, while these guys are doing this, I'm going to give you a little bit of a history of Alberta brick making. So in Medicine Hat, IXL used to manufacture their own brick. Back in the, it used to be called the Medicine Hat Brick and Tile Factory, which began in 1886. Which is said to be the oldest industrial site in Alberta. They used to actually manufacture a dry pressed brick, which you will not find very often anymore, especially in our Alberta marketplace. What you end up typically finding in Alberta now is extruded brick. And the difference is essentially a dry pressed brick is compressed, whereas an extruded brick is somewhat like a toothpaste coming out of a toothpaste holder, which essentially is then cut with a wire, and that's typically called an extruded brick. So back to the IXL plant. IXL continued to grow and expand in Western Canada under the name of IXL Masonry Supplies. Now we're called IXL Building Products. But back in June of 2010, we were forced to close all the plants due to flooding. So then what ended up happening after that is that we became a full-on distributor. And now we carry many bricks from the United States, and we have some great partnerships along the way. But it's a nice known fact that we in Alberta used to, maybe in my opinion, produce some of the nicest brick in entire North America. The land now where the old plant was has now been preserved and the site is a provincial historic resource, and it's now a museum through Mcdougall. So if you are ever in Medicine Hat, go check it out. It's got the old kilns, and you can get a little tour from a tour guide in regards to how brick was manufactured back in the day. We're gonna go over and check out the unsung heroes, the mud mixers. Very important job. And this is why you will never have to hit a gym if you are a bricklayer. These guys do a tremendous amount of hard work, but they have a lot of gratitude at the end when they see their finished product. Don't kid yourself, these guys, this trade is, these guys are artists. And a lot of it will show in their work and their workmanship. The weather's starting to get a little nicer here. The smoke's subsiding a bit. We are probably around that 18 degrees. Also like to thank our Ford sponsor. I can see the guys have just finally are setting up their booth. We will go talk to them quite shortly. Just gonna take a look at the backside of this double white brick wall. Again, these tenders are extremely helpful. As you can see, the way they're setting up the brick, and it allows Rick to grab the brick quite easily, and he's parallel to that wall, as mentioned before.
Did you notice how this guy's only doing the one side of the wall first?
Yes.
And then the other side he'll fill in afterwards. It's because you have to work overhand. So build that one side up and then fill this one's a lot easier than working it that way.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point.
Smart, as long as you can fill it. Because
Right.
the way it's graded, it's 2 courses above the last final course. So say right now, he really doesn't have any complete course because that first brick course down there is part of the starter course. So he doesn't have anything completed until he starts filling at least that one bottom row there.
One bottom row.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas
Okay.
these guys, they got one course. Now he's working on the second course. Those guys got the one. These guys over here, killing it. So 1, 2, 3,
Yep.
3.5 courses up already.
Those are the past champions.
Feldman, yeah.
Again, though, we want to stress it's not how many brick are laid. It's also got a lot to do with the craftsmanship and what the wall looks like as when the finished product is done.
that note of craftsmanship, we should talk about the tools that we use when we do our judging. We'll take this wall
Okay,
over here.
we're going to talk about some of the tools used when we judge.
Once the wall is set up and it's time to judge it, we use the blue one here to judge the head joint. So if we can put that in and it spins, then that's a little bit too big there. Head joints, bed joints with this guy here. We pop that guy in place. Again, we want to make sure that it's good. It's not too big or too little. These guys are doing really good right now.
Oh, they're doing a fantastic job. What's our time count?
Who's got the watch? Well, it's 11:30. If we started at 11,
So it's
we're halfway
11:30, halfway done. They will get the final bell rung at 12 o'clock. And as mentioned before, they will then get a 5-minute tooling or joint touch-up, 5 minutes to do so, and then the judges can go and examine their walls for the various judging criteria. And I'm going to go through some of that judging criteria for you right now. So the top surface of the last double width course laid is to be checked for height. The height tolerance over the wall length will be plus minus a 1/4 inch or less, and will be measured by taking a height measurement of each end and in the middle of the wall on the working side to the last completed double wipe. Also, both ends of the face of the wall must be a 1/4 inch or less of being truly vertical. This will be judged using the competitor's level at 4 plumb points at each end of the wall and 1 plumb point in the middle of the working side of the wall for a total of 9 plumb points. Judges will then also look for voids. Voids are essentially holes in the head or bed joints, which I believe I'll be judging in about a half hour's time. And then the judge will attempt to tool the head joint and bed joint. If they can't tool it and the hole still or the void still shows, then there will be a deduction. Brick in the wall must be laid face shell out. Now with the Hebron brick, as I'll show you right here, they've got stamped HBC, which is Hebron Brick Company. They're stamped on the back side. So Hebron brick, typically when you're laying it, it's pretty easy to tell the back side. But there's some manufacturers that the front side and the back side look quite similar. So you got to be very careful. But in this particular case, the Hebron brick stamps their backside, so it should be easier for the competitors to notice. Bricks with chips greater than a 1/2 inch in diameter are not to be used in the competition. So if the bricklayer accidentally grabs a brick from the pallet that has a chip 1/2 inch in diameter, then they install it in the wall, then we're going to have to end up deducting points. Lipped brick in the wall must be less than a 1/4 inch as well. And I believe these are usually 50 brick deductions. So whatever the total of the brick laid, any of these deductions, you minus 50 brick out of that total. So as you can tell, it would eventually add up. So you don't want to get too many deductions, that's for sure. Let's go and make our way over to the other side here. We get a different angle, different perspective. Let's go see his the mortar bed. Again, these guys, this is tremendous skill and pressure that they're under today. And I can't stress enough how much these tenders truly help the mason out. A good tender will make a mason's day, and especially an event like this, it can make and break everything. So just a reminder, last year's championship, Feldman Brothers, the brick count was 627. You can see our Ford sponsorship is here. And we'll go talk to those guys in a little bit. Take you over to the all of our great sponsors for this event. We can't say enough, so we just want to thank everyone who does put a tremendous amount of work into this and makes this event happen and run as smooth as it does.
Looks like we're at the halfway mark.
We are officially at the halfway mark.
30 minutes in, 30 minutes to go, little man, 30 minutes.
30 minutes remaining. And we've got to, once again, we thank our Hebron brick sponsors. They typically, this event, we have about 8,000 donated brick. Typically the brick here are some sort of a discounted brick, but it doesn't mean the integrity of the brick is compromised. These are still very, very good brick. Let's get out of the way here, as you can see. We'll watch a tender here. This is obviously the Feldman Brothers from Lethbridge. And so Daniel would be the tender on this. Some of the other factors that the judges are going to be looking for, mortar joint thickness tolerance for bed joints are not less than a 1/4 inch or greater than 5/8 of an inch. So mortar joint thickness. Those look to be pretty good. So that's one of the things the judges will also be looking for. Each individual brick on both sides of the wall are to be laid level. Each brick that appears to be out of level or tipped will be judged using a digital level set to the inches per foot reading. Sure. We're just going to have Carlos say something here.
We got another one here. One of the other criteria that we check for is chipped bricks.
Yep.
So if you see any of the brick in the wall that have a chip bigger than a 1/2 inch, that's going to be a deduction there.
1/2 inch chip, yep.
Yeah. The other thing is you'll notice that there's a back side to the brick and a front side.
Yep.
Any brick that are laid back side out is going to have a deduction as well.
Absolutely.
So these guys, the mason and the tender's got to be really cognizant of how they're laying the bricks, so then when they bring it out, boom, it's always face out instead of backside.
And the competitors are lucky that Hebron manufactures a stamped backside, because some manufacturers actually don't, so it's a little tougher to tell the backside to the front side of a brick.
But when these guys are going fast and not thinking about it, that's where it's the teamwork. You got to make sure that the tender's got it, so all you do is grab it, put it on the wall.
Right.
If he grabs it, he's got to look at it, that's seconds. They don't want to take away.
Absolutely. All right, we're gonna head over now to one of our big sponsors here, Ford. We're going to talk to them in a second here. They seem to be in the middle of a conversation. So this IXL yard that we're at, where the facility is, it's a 12.6 acres of space. So we're easily able to have an event like this in our yard, kind of in between where you can see in the very back there, but all our brick pallets. So we've got a tremendous amount of brick and stone here, but we also have a lot of space. So we're very fortunate that we can have an event like this take place here in Calgary at the IXL yard. So we're probably looking at about, I would say 20 minutes remaining before the judging then gets started. Well, sorry, before they get the 5-minute break, tool the wall, and then the judging will begin. This is Dennis, one of the major organizers of this event. Great job, Dennis. The event's going smoothly and everything's looking great.
Thank you.
What's our time check?
We are currently sitting at 35 minutes. So 25 more minutes to go.
25 more minutes to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So 25 more minutes. See here, you can see how they pre-laid the mortar bed down.
We don't have to worry about that.
And now it's, you know, with craftsmanship on the line, they want to make sure that they strike those mortar joints so you leave a clean, nice wall. Their attention to detail ends up heightening at this point, knowing that there's only about 20 to 25 minutes remaining. When I say they can come back in at that 5-minute break to tool it, it just means that they can actually go back with their trowel or with their jointer and just kind of make the wall look good. Fix up some mortar joints, scrape some access mortar off the wall, clean up the wall essentially, because that's where with craftsmanship points, it's very important that the wall looks clean and good, has no voids, no chip brick, and no backwards brick laid in the wall. They've even got a DJ playing today, a little bit muffled in behind. If you guys are, sorry, I'm just gonna get out of the noise here. If any of the viewers are in Calgary and you want to come on down, we're going to be having hamburgers here shortly after the event down at the IXL Building Products Yard at 4900 102 Avenue Southeast. So come on down if you are watching this live from in Calgary. We'd love to have you. Let's go over and talk to our Ford sponsorship. Gentlemen,
There we go.
so this is these are maybe you can introduce yourself. We'll try to get out of the noise here. introduce yourself and let us know what's new with Ford and why you sponsor this event. And again, everyone appreciates your sponsorship. So yeah, I'll let you go ahead. Actually, let's go back here. I think it's really hard to hear here. All right.
I'm Neil Hare. I'm with Universal Ford Lincoln. Here with Matt Thompson, who's part of our group.
Hi, Matt.
Mcdougall in there. I'm in commercial sales and leasing. We brought an F-750 down for display. It's got the new 7.3 gas engine in it.
Okay.
Everybody here is a tradesman, so we'll draw some attention. Ford's all very well accepted in the industry right now, so it's something that we're just carrying on with. So we were given this opportunity. We took it.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Matt Thompson, and I actually work with the Kaizen Group, which is part of Universal Ford business development. So I actually work with service support and fleet support.
Excellent.
And I'm here to do what I can to give the customers the information they need.
Excellent. And how many years have you guys been sponsoring this event? Do you know?
Not for sure.
I know it's as long as I've been here. You guys have typically been here, so.
Well, this is the first year for us. I mean, we were last year was another store in Calgary, but I think with us being a medium truck dealer as well, that was the reason that Ford chose us to be part of it.
Right. Excellent.
We're the ones in Southern Alberta for that.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate the sponsorship. Hope you guys have a good day and cheer on our contestants. And again, we appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully you guys are able to hear that. I know it's a little loud, but those are gentlemen from Ford, a big sponsor of this event. All right. So they're up to about 6 courses of brick on Rick Mcdougall's team. And you can see the brick line, which is typically highlighted in a pretty bright color, so you can see that your brick is running its course, nice and flush and plumb. Excess mortar taken off. He taps the brick with his trowel on top of the mortar bed. You see that technique quite a bit. A lot of other times, guys will just kind of snuggle it in with their hands, and the tapping with the trowel doesn't. They won't use that technique. Some guys do. So, all depends on the method and on the type of bricklayer and his what he likes to do, or she. Show you the rest of the facility here. We're gonna go around and try to get a better look. Coming down to about, I would say about 20 minutes left in the event. So these guys are about 3 courses of brick laid. I will tell you right now. So this is team Falke Construction, Medicine Hat. Rick Fair and Dan Roth is the tender. So being a team from Medicine Hat, they definitely know the history of brick in that area. This team here, we've got Nicola Bradvicka and Marco Bradvicka, and they're from Eero Masonry. And they're based out of Calgary here. Great guys. Right about now, they're at about working on their 5th course. This team number 2 over here, this is Gunther's Masonry. Gunther's based out of Calgary, and it's Dave Suntag and Sonny Harvey is his tender. Family is starting to cheer on their competitors and their family members. Everyone wants that trip to Vegas and that title of Alberta's best masonry, or mason, sorry. These guys are going. I would have to say right now this is probably between the Feldman and Mcdougall team. Probably got the most courses of brick laid so far.
When you get over there, we'll talk about plum points.
All right, we're gonna go talk about some plum points.
Probably told everybody how we grade that. So we have the 9 different plum points.
9 different plum points, yep.
We'll take the mason's actual level, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 in the middle.
Plum point in the middle, okay, yep.
We'll check all the corners, and then 1 on the inside to make sure that everything matches up. All right?
Okay. Are you judging today?
Probably.
Okay, excellent. Again, as you can see, he's just so fluent. And we just got the 15-minute countdown. 15 minutes. So this is an essential time for these guys right now. A little bit more pressure, but like I said, a fast bricklayer isn't necessarily a good one. You gotta have a fluent, nice, consistent motion, which eventually will speed your process up. In about 15 minutes time, we will allow them to have their 5 minutes to joint the wall, and at that point we will probably end up taking about a 30-minute break, and then we'll be live streaming again about shortly after that, so about 30 minutes, and then we'll announced all the winners, and the judges will submit all their paperwork, and we will have the winners announced for the 2020 BRICKLAYER 500 Alberta Series Championship. So we hope you guys are enjoying this this live stream to see firsthand, live in the action of the bricklayers. It's quite a sight to see in person, to be honest. I don't think bricklayers get enough credit for their trade. These guys are remarkable, and quite honestly, they're artists. There's Rick. He's starting to really move now. Just a nice, fluent repetition, nice pattern flow right there. Same as over here. This is very nice. Maybe here you can a good example of, you can see that channeled groove in the mortar bed, so then they can just lay and strike. Typically they're gonna butter one of the ends. Well, actually typically they butter both ends on a commercial site or a job site, but they most likely here, because time is a factor, they end up doing one of the head joints. as you can see right there. See, it just touches a little bit on the end there. There's Liz Such. She is our IXL dealer rep. She'll be taking a lot of pictures of this event. We are hoping that we can promote it and show it all over social media. So we're probably down to getting down to the wire here. I would say about 10 minutes left. See, that mortar's nice flow to it. Not drying out too bad. The weather is starting to get pretty hot here in Calgary. The smoke is residing a bit. Get all the mud ready on the mud boards. Five-minute count, 5 minutes left. This is where family and friends will be cheering them on for the last 5 minutes. Five minutes left. They just want to keep doing what they've been doing. Don't feel the added pressure of 5 minutes left. Again, we have 5 very talented teams here representing Alberta. And one winner is going to be labeled Best Mason of Alberta. And on to Las Vegas. There will also be a craftsmanship award. And new this year are the wild card. Wild card challenge, which essentially will send 4 additional competitors to the World Championship. So there's we're gonna have some more people trying to get that World Championship title. So you don't necessarily have to win the event, but the next 4 top wild cards will end up going as well. So more incentive to get teams in, and hopefully this event can just grow and grow. The more teams, the better. These guys practice hard, doing what they do. They take, I know we've been asked for pallets, donate pallets to them so they can practice in their garage or at their yards. So these guys take this very, very seriously, and rightfully so. All right, judges are starting to get ready. And we're gonna hear that buzzer to put down the trowels very, very soon. I think we're getting a 2 minutes remaining. You can see how Rick just positioned himself parallel to that brick wall, and it's all about technique. Fans are cheering. great to see. Again, we just want to thank everyone for viewing today at the 2002 SPEC Mixed Bricklayer 500 Alberta Regional Series. They've got probably, I would say, a minute left. And then we are going to allow them a 5-minute break. Then they're going to clean up their walls a bit, flush rake their joints, tidy up their walls, and then we're going to take a 30-minute break and see what the judges come up with, and we can crown our champion. And as mentioned before, if you are in Calgary, please come on down. We'd love to see you. This is not a place for dress shoes. This is Junior from Brock White. You'll be one of our judges today. What are you judging, Junior?
Plum points and brick counts.
Plum points and brick counts.
Yeah.
All right. Can you just describe a little bit about what you'd be looking for as far as plum points?
There's going to be 9 areas, so I'm going to check the plumpness of it. No less than a 1/4 inch vertical. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Perfect. And you do the brick count as well.
Absolutely.
That's an important judging job. Thanks.
Calculator?
Yeah. Calculator. I think he just was trying to bribe me there. We got some fans waiting anxiously. We've got Tracy over here, who's our IXL operations manager.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Excited for the final results.
Very.
We've got Dan Feldman, the producer of these 2 amazing bricklayers. Cheering his boys on. SPEC Mix silo, running and pumping out that mortar. CTV News is here. As you can see him directly pointing the camera at me as well. So we get some news coverage on this great event. We should be at about I would say a minute left. I'll get confirmation of that. 3 minutes. 3 minutes left. They have shut down the
Get rid of the line.
shut down the mixer. Family members are telling them to clean up the walls a bit. Make sure everything's flush, plumb. You can see how some of these job sites they're actually well maintained, clean. Especially if you're on an actual job site, it can be quite dangerous. So you want to make sure that everything is stacked properly. All the tools are in place, not tripping over anything. Dennis Charbonneau, SPEC Mix. He'll be giving the countdown. What's our time count?
We're at 2 minutes to go. We got 2 minutes to go.
2 minutes to go.
Let's go, gentlemen. 2 minutes. Come on.
Yeah. The sweat is pouring. This is Couldn't ask for a better day, to be honest, though. And that's only because I'm not laying brick. I'm sure it's a little hot for those guys. But it's a beautiful day here in Calgary, Alberta. Some final touches with about 2 minutes to go. And then they will finally get a well-deserved break. They're yelling for a time count. 1 minute to go. 1 minute to go. So the competitors yelling out, time check, time check. One minute to go. Again. Good job, guys. Thank you for the donation of brick. Like I said, about 8,000 brick. These are sea gray 6 smooth brick.
20 seconds.
20 seconds.
Good job. 10, 9.
Here's the countdown.
8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good job, trowels up.
Trowels up. So these guys are now complete. Big round of applause to everyone and all the contestants here. Job very, very well done. So they're going to take a 5-minute break and then they strike their walls for 10 minutes. Then once that 10 minutes of striking the wall, cleaning it up, making it look good, presentable for the judges, then we will have a 30-minute break so the judges can walk around the walls and critique what they're needed, as we discussed earlier. And then we're going to get back into action on our live feed. So please come back and check out who the winners are of the Alberta Regional Bricklayer 500. So I'm officially going to, we're going to put a break on right now, and we hope to see you guys back in about, I would say about 30 minutes. So please come back and we'll check out the winners, and all the judging will be complete. Thanks very much, and we will see you very shortly.